When I returned from the Summer Institute, I was really energized and fortunately took the advice of my math leader and chose to only reinvent about 10% of my curriculum. So I was able to go through and think about how to modify lessons so that they consider the sort of hidden curriculum that's going on behind the scenes. For instance, I started to instead of focusing on the end material that students turned in, focus more on the process of them creating that material and putting them into collaborative environments so they could work together and sort of learn some of that group work. I really appreciated the feedback piece of the Summer Institute, and we had a somewhat robust feedback program at my school, but we also certainly had some areas for improvement. And so I met with what was then our Dean of Faculty to discuss some of the things that I'd walked away with from the Summer Institute and trying to implement those on a broader scale for the faculty. And that was met with some hesitation, I think because it was a little unknown because of the sort of time commitment that it required from the administration. And also because I think there was a sense that the current program was adequate and maybe didn't need that level of investment. So I continued to be an advocate for stronger feedback and for developing a system of sort of more openness and collaboration between teachers. And the school has, over the past several years, sort of started to embrace that more. And we now have a person who's been hired and really is dedicated to modifying that process at our school. So I think my challenge was that I wasn't aware of how much I would need to build a case for this idea, and so I didn't really seek out a lot of support from other faculty before presenting this to our administration, and it came across as sort of an isolated desire from one person, where I think it might have had a much stronger voice had it come from many of us. I also think I probably could have refined what my proposal would have been had I discussed it more with other people. What went well is that through a little perseverance and some patience, some of that change is starting to happen and hopefully will continue to evolve as the school progresses. I certainly think I would emphasize patience, and I think I would emphasize finding the stakeholders and making sure that you've got a way to earn or at least request their support in a way that's supportive and that involves them in some of the decision making, so that you maybe are meeting them in the middle or determining some middle ground where you guys can all work together. All of you are going to be phenomenal teachers when you graduate from this, and you already are phenomenal teachers, and remember to stick with it, and I think you'll find that that change and evolution will always be there. It just may take longer and be a slower process than you might initially think.